Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Obviously it's been a very long time since I made a video. It's probably been about 2 months, maybe more than that, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm back now, and obviously different surroundings, as you can probably see, and that is because I am now at university. On the 10th of September I officially moved into the University of Gloucestershire, and it's been an amazing experience so far. So this video is going to be talking about basically my experiences with the university, like everything from before I arrived to the arrival, to how my course is going, the social aspect, and also a couple of like struggles that I've been going through as well. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'm also going to offer some tips for anyone watching this video in the future who is thinking of applying to university, or is, having certain issues related to applying to university, or, is already at university but kind of just wants some advice and things like that. So I think we should just get started. So I'm going to begin this with basically the whole kind of thing before I started university. So like the weeks leading up to when I moved in. And it went relatively smoothly. Obviously there was a lot of nerves because, I'd never lived by myself before. I'd never really lived independently or anything like that, so I didn't really know what to expect. And then obviously, going forward in that, the nerves kind of creeped in a little bit more as I got closer. And then it kind of got to a point where, and this is my first major issue, it got to a point where I didn't feel like I could do it. And I remember in late August, I wanted to defer because I didn't think I could do it. But then obviously I had conversations with my family and that, and that kind of gave me the confidence I needed to just do it, I guess, because I learned that, the only way I'm going to get better at, the living independently, all the chores and stuff like that, and, all this other stuff, is to just do it. And like, nobody, when you move into uni, nobody expects you to be, properly good at everything, right from when you move in. It takes time. And that's kind of what I found out. It took me time to get used to everything and get into that rhythm. So yeah, the next couple of days, or the next sort of week or so, actually went really smoothly after that. And in fact, a couple of days before I moved in, so maybe about 2 or 3 days before, I genuinely didn't feel any nerves whatsoever. And it was a bit weird because I thought I would feel nerves, obviously, moving to university, it's a big thing. But I didn't really feel nervous. And even on the actual move-in day, when we were loading the car and when I was on my way here, I didn't feel any nerves or anything. It was actually kind of weird in a way. So yeah, so I think the biggest part to remember about, the sort of pre-uni nerves and that is, it's natural, it's normal to feel nervous, it's normal to feel scared. That's how I felt, and I'm sure that's how a lot of other people across the country in a similar position to me would have been feeling as well. But the thing you've got to remember is it will always get easier. And you know if like me, you're in a position where you don't feel like you can do it, or you're struggling or anything like that, just talk to someone. There's always people there that you can talk to if you need to, that, if you're struggling or anything like that, there's so many people out there that can help you, your family, your friends, people like that. And that's kind of what I benefited from most, like in that situation, was that I had people I could go to and be like, right, I'm struggling, I don't feel like I can do it. And at first, like I said, I wanted to defer, and I said, I can't do it this year, I'm going to take a year out and you know give myself more time. And then I learned that it's easier for me, it would have been better for me to just do it this year, and to kind of learn as I went along. And I got so far anyway. Like, I didn't obviously you guys know, as I mentioned in a previous video, my plan initially was never to go to university. In a way, I kind of consider myself lucky that I'm even sitting here at, in uni at the moment, but that was never my plan. And, to be here now and, to think how far I came, like even getting to that point was a big thing for me. And obviously, an even bigger thing once I'd had that conversation and I decided that I was going to go to university this year. It took a lot to make that decision, but I did it because I knew it was going to be the best thing for me, and I knew that I just needed to do it. And like I said, if anyone watching this video is going through that, like I said, the best thing you can do is talk to somebody, family, friends, whoever it may be. Talk to somebody, see what they have to say. But at the same time, you want to try and decide for yourself, like I did. I made the decision for myself that I was going to come here, but it was helped by, what my family was saying about, learning and stuff like that. And, you kind of got to do that as well. You kind of got to think, have a positive mindset. Think to yourself that if I can't do it now, that doesn't mean I won't be able to do it in the future, if that makes sense. So, obviously, moving day came. I was really excited. I was quite excited. At the same time, though, very sad to, obviously be leaving my home, leaving my family, and things like that. And as I mentioned previously in the video, I actually wasn't that nervous, believe it or not. It was quite a weird feeling. So obviously we were driving from Swindon to the University of Gloucestershire in Cheltenham, and we were unloading the car and going shopping and all stuff like that. Didn't really feel nervous, but it was when my family left that the emotions kicked in, and I was really emotional for the rest of the day, really. And again, that's a natural feeling, everyone's going to feel like that. But it kind of hit me quite hard, like harder than I was expecting it to. But, it's difficult to talk about. But, at the same time, I was beginning a new chapter, and, it's obviously it was emotional leaving my family behind, but, at the same time, I was excited to, be starting in a new chapter, and, to be meeting new people and, exploring a new town and things like that, and doing a course that I'm passionate about. And I don't think I've ever mentioned it on this channel, but I'm just going to mention it quickly now. For those who don't know what course I'm doing computer science. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've actually mentioned that on this channel, so yeah. But yeah, on the first day, I already began to, make friends and stuff like that. And, obviously I've met people like on Discord and WhatsApp beforehand, so I met some of them. Then obviously, meet my flatmates and stuff, and, stuff like that. That was really nice. And obviously going to had a welcome barbecue at the uni, so I met even more people there. I went to a welcome talk, so yeah, I met people there as well. So, it was as emotional as it was on that first day. It was quite nice to just, have been meeting all them people and, just doing all this sort of stuff. And then over the next sort of week, we had different activities, like welcome activities, which were related to our course. So, for my course, we had stuff like free pizza, we had mini golf, we had socials and stuff like that, course activities, and obviously the classic Freshers Fair. So yeah, it was a really fun week. Met so many new people, signed up for a couple of societies. Yeah, and it was, just, did a load of other stuff as well. It was a really, really great experience. And I'm glad that there was stuff like that there, to meet new people, meet my course mates and things like that, people who kind of have similar interests to me and, are doing a course similar to mine. It was nice to be able to just meet with them people and to know that I've got, such a big sort of friend group like that, even just, you know, in my lectures and stuff, like with courses and that, it's, you know, it was really reassuring for me. And then obviously with my societies as well, I signed up for the Karting Society, which I'm fairly sure you probably all know. I'd sign up for that one, and then I went for ethical hacking as well. You know, computer science related course. So I thought I might as well just do it. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how the Welcome Week went. There's not really a huge amount to talk about. A lot of it obviously was some course related stuff as well, but you know, there was like I said, there was socials. Like, you know, went to a pub one evening. That was really nice. You know, chatting to people doing not necessarily the same course, but similar courses. And then so stuff like cybersecurity, cyber forensics, and things like that. And then obviously going to mini golf on the Friday, which was really really fun. You know, a couple of funny stories from that day. But again, you know, meeting course mates, meeting people doing similar courses, things like that. And then afterwards, I was on my own for a little bit because everyone else had gone back to the accommodation. I stayed in town for a bit, so explored the town for a little bit. Then went up to another campus around 7 in the evening for a quiz night. So that was again a really nice way to, you know, meet people and things like that. So yeah, that was the Welcome Week, and then obviously, you know, like I said, we had course activities and stuff, and the Freshers Fair. So I met even more people at the Freshers Fair. Like, met people on my societies, met a couple of people from the WhatsApp group who I hadn't met yet. So that was good. Oh, and one thing I actually forgot to mention from the previous part I was talking about, so that like before moving into uni, was August 31st, I went on a pre-induction thing at the uni. So again, met, you know, got a chance to meet people, you know, sort of. I didn't get to go in the accommodation, but I saw the accommodation, obviously saw where I was going to be living, saw all of the facilities on campus, and things like that. So again, that was a really good experience, and I'm glad I did it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the kind of the social aspect of university. This is the one thing that I've excelled at, because at home I was always quite, I guess, introverted. I mean, I never really went out too much, and things like that. I never really went out with friends too often. Whereas at university, I'm going out with friends and just going out on my own pretty much all the time. Like, I remember literally the third day of university and the first day of the little Welcome Week thing. I had obviously a couple of Welcome Week activities, and then I went out with like friends and stuff. I went out with friends in the evening for about, you know, 3 hours. We went to Spoons, walked around a little bit, and I just thought to myself, it was so nice to do that, because I never did that at home. I never really went out with friends or anything that often at all, really. And to think at uni, I've been doing it so much more. You know, I spend more time outside my room than I do in my room, and you know, it's like when obviously I'm free and that, and it's so nice to just, you know, be able to do that. And like, there's been times where I don't necessarily always go off campus with friends. Sometimes I'll chill in like the cafe or, you know, other sort of social areas on campus, you know, with friends and stuff. But you know, I've made some really amazing friends already, and it's only been about a month since I first started university. So the fact that I've already made such amazing friendships in a space of a month, you know, it did surprise me a little bit, because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't expecting that to be the case, but you know, it has been, and I couldn't be any happier with that. Like, and like I said, just, you know, the going out with friends and just, you know, meeting up with people, you know, the fact that I'm doing that so regularly as well, it's really nice. And like I said, I've just become massively extroverted. Like, I love going out, you know, going outdoors, sometimes going into town by myself. Just got to clear that, I had a notification. But you know, going into town by myself or going into town with friends or whatever. You know, I've been different places. I've been to the cinema. I've been, you know, mini golf and stuff like that with friends and society members. and that's another thing actually that I can kind of link to the social aspect, is the societies. Because again, that's something that's really been quite nice. Just looking out the window there because it's shucking it down with rain at the moment where I am. But, but yeah, back on topic. The societies again. The societies I joined, I've met some amazing people there already. I've done some really cool stuff, like karting society. Obviously, went karting last week, I believe. Obviously, went down to the Team Sport Bristol, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever done. After 6 years of being away from karting, to actually get back in a kart again was an insane experience. And everyone in the society was so supportive and things like that. It was nice to meet such friendly people, and in the society we've had regular socials as well. And obviously I've got one coming up soon which I'm excited about, and ethical hacking, and a couple of sessions of that. And what I think is nice with both of my societies is with karting, I didn't really have much experience with that, other than like one time about 6 years ago when I went karting and then just never went karting again. And then ethical hacking, I had literally zero experience at all with ethical hacking, but it was easy for me to get to grips with because you didn't have to have experience to be able to do it. And I've picked it up so quickly in both societies. Like in karting, I got to grips with everything really quickly. It gave me so much more confidence, like behind the wheel of a go-kart and things like that, and just more confidence in general to try stuff. Ethical hacking, sort of the same, picked it up quite quickly. Some stuff I didn't really know how to do because I'd obviously never done it before, but what was nice is I was able to ask for help and things like that, and there was people there who did genuinely help. So that was nice. Again, it's good that obviously in the societies and that you've got people there that will have more experience that you can kind of go to and ask, I'm struggling a little bit, can you help me? And obviously they'll help you. But yeah, the social side of university has been something that I picked up way better than I thought I would. And it's been, like I said before, it's just been so good to have had that happen. Like just the going out regularly and just socializing more. It's been amazing. And even within my flat, I very often in my flat and that, go into the kitchen, chat to my flatmates and stuff. So it's an experience which has really kind of made me feel a bit happier. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the academic side. I'm going to start with probably the course itself, and then I'll move on to some other bits like lectures, and then the studying independently side, which if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I've been having problems with. But I'll start with the course itself. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, I'm doing computer science, and I was super excited to get started on this course. As you guys know, I love technology. I love computers. It's one of my biggest passions in life, and now that I'm kind of doing it full time, it's amazing to be doing it. So at the moment we're doing four, that was 5 days, we're doing 4 different modules in semester 1, and then I think we're doing 3 more in semester 2. So 3 of the modules I'm doing in semester 1 I won't do in semester 2. They'll be replaced by 3 new modules, but one of the modules I think carries over into semester 2. I hope that made sense. It might not have, because I'm not very good at explaining stuff, but yeah. So we've got a module about it's called computers and security, but we talk about like computer architecture, operating systems, networking, security, and stuff like that. I'd probably say this is my favorite module so far. I've really, really been enjoying it. It's super interesting. I've learned so much new stuff, like new software like Cisco Packet Tracer, and obviously the operating system stuff. I'm massively interested in operating systems, so that was a topic that I enjoyed. And then obviously the security side, I never really, in like A level and that, I never really learned much about the security side, so it was nice to kind of learn a bit about it, because obviously in industry, in the technology industry and things like that, that's such a massive thing. The security side, things like that. And then obviously networking, again, huge in the industry. And I think it was kind of nice to learn these kinds of skills because that's going to build up to like, in industry level. If I learn these skills now, that's going to really set me up well for industry. And obviously in the technology industry, they look for people who know about networks, know about security, things like that. So having the knowledge now and learning about how to do these kinds of things, like, using Cisco Packet Tracer to build networks and you know, things like that, it will definitely help me out. And obviously in industry, that would be used if you're going to like a network engineering role, for instance. Um, and I can kind of link what I'm doing in the Ethical Hacking Society to computer science because, it's an extra skill that I wanted to learn and, again, beneficial in industry. I guess with ethical hacking, it kind of depends what side of the industry you want to go into. If you want to go into cybersecurity, then obviously ethical hacking is massively important. It's one of the kind of like main areas of cybersecurity, I suppose. So yeah, that's kind of a big thing. But even just in computer science in general, having that knowledge is something that can kind of take you a lot further. And then we do another module called Principles of Programming. Again, this is a module I really like. I love programming. I don't really do it as much as I probably should. But yeah, I do enjoy programming. And even though we're kind of learning stuff that I already know how to do, it is nice to kind of have a bit of a refresher on it and being like, oh yeah, I remember this now. But we also learn some new stuff as well, or stuff that I really haven't done too much of. I may have done it like in the past, like a tutorial in a book or something, but never like fully on my own. So again, it's good to kind of get a refresher on that and kind of do it on my own rather than having to follow a tutorial, despite the fact that I'll probably have to do that in the future since I don't really do too much programming my own. And then we do another module called computational maths. This is a module that I'm not too like I'm not enjoying it like hugely. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a cool module and that, but compared to like the other modules and that, I haven't really been enjoying it as much as I thought I would. But there's still some interesting things. Like, it's all about taking mathematical operations and converting them into a format that a computer will understand. So like programming it in Python. And we've actually done a bit of that. So like we've created code for certain operations like finding square numbers, prime numbers, doing sequences, finding out nth term. We've done algorithms for them, made them in Python. And that was really interesting because it kind of taught me that, how much Python can do and like, all these different, operations and libraries and stuff that you can actually use on Python to get it to do these kind of mathematical operations and things like that. And again, that's going to be important in the future, I think. If I'm making programs where obviously you need to have like some sort of maths in there, then you need to program in a way that it's going to understand this. So obviously having to use different programming like Python libraries and things like that will be important. Obviously knowing how to use them, what to use them with, what they link to, and things like that. So then the final module that we do in semester one is called Systems Design. This is a module that, again, I'm not really enjoying as much as I kind of thought I would, mostly because it's not a huge, there isn't like a huge practical focus on it. Like, there isn't really much like practical tasks that are done as such, like compared to like the programming stuff or security or things like that. But again, like with computational maths, there is some interesting stuff we learn. So, because systems design is all about the whole process of designing a piece of software before you actually go into development or anything like that. So obviously there is some interesting things like learning about what goes into it, software development life cycle and things like that, but it just hasn't kind of been what I was expecting. Like, I'm not saying I don't really like it, but compared to the other modules, it hasn't like fully lived up to my expectations, I guess. But at the same time, it's only been a month, so I guess it's still kind of relatively early days so far. So obviously, I guess I just have to wait and see, what comes in store for the future. And then there is, I believe, 3 other modules that we do that are in semester 2. So one of them is OOP. One of them is a data science related one, it's called Maths for Data Science. Then the other one, which I'm really, really looking forward to, is web development. The reason I'm looking forward to this one is obviously, it's another programming thing, but it's also because I do have a bit of web development experience. I've, started learning HTML when I was in year 7, and I've kind of remembered how to do most things. Obviously, I'm not going to remember everything, but, started it years ago and kind of stopped for a while and then started it again sort of later on in like school. So yeah, it'll be nice to kind of get into it again. Lecture wise, I think lectures themselves are going really well. The way they're structured in a way that engages me, and allows me to kind of fully focus on what's being taught. I mean, obviously, 3-hour lectures and stuff like that. But we get regular breaks in our lectures. We get like maybe a 10-minute break sort of in between, like to kind of split it up. So, it's nice. At least we actually, do get breaks and stuff. I have struggled a bit in lectures with regards to note taking. I've tried different methods and I kind of don't really know what works. So I tried at first writing notes in like a big notebook I've got. But I was writing in full sentences, which is a bit of a problem because I'd be writing something and then all of a sudden the lecture has moved on like 3 slides and I've got a PowerPoint, say, from like, the system that we use, like the virtual learning environment. I'm looking at that PowerPoint, I'm still on like slide 6, and then lecture's moved on to like slide 8 or 9. I'm really far behind, still trying to make notes from this slide. So then I started writing shorter notes, but then at the same time, with the shorter notes, it's not getting as much information down, so that kind of didn't really work either, despite the fact that with writing shorter notes, you kind of remember more. But like I said, you're not getting as much information down. And then I started writing notes on my laptop, and I still do this, but again, I don't really know whether that's something that I should continue doing, simply because obviously I'd have to have my laptop on me all the time. Like if my laptop was to break or something, there's a high chance I'd end up losing access to all my notes. So it's a bit of a weird one, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. But yeah, the lectures are really good, and in a lot of the lectures, there's like discussion times. So sometimes, you may have to discuss a particular task with people, so we get time to do that. And then in some modules, we have like a practical element, so we get time to work on like a task that's been set for us. And then yeah, that's kind of it. And then the lecturers, all my lecturers are really nice. I haven't got a problem with the lecturers. I think they were, like I said, they were all really nice and like supportive and things like that. They're always there to answer questions or any concerns you may have. So that's another thing that I've been benefiting from. Now I'm going to talk about something that I've been massively struggling with, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say. The studying independently. Now, this is something that I didn't really feel like I would I can't even say it. This is something that I didn't really think I'd struggle with at first, when I started university. But now that I'm kind of a month into it, it's kind of at that point where this issue now has just kind of been there for a while and I really haven't known what to do about it. So for those of you who may not know, I've had massive problems with studying independently. I've found it hard to get started with work. I've had, so many things I either have to do or want to do. So I don't really even know where to start. And I'm kind of juggling things around in my mind. Like, do I start here? Do I start with this? Do I do this? It's been really difficult. I get distracted easily and things like that. And I just can't keep dealing with that. And I never would normally talk about this, but it's been an issue that's been affecting me for so long, like since being at uni, that I have to talk about it. Um, and it's kind of been holding me back a little bit, um, like with, work and that, and certain tasks I've got to do. Um, Obviously, just not doing them because of these struggles. I've tried to kind of do work and like make myself do it, but yesterday I was trying to write stuff down, and this issue was kind of constantly on my mind, and I just could barely get anything done because of it. Um, and yeah, I just don't understand it, because obviously at A level I was really good at studying. Um, you know, Studying, getting loads done, not getting distracted or anything like that. And I just don't understand what's changed at uni. Maybe it's, a workload thing. Maybe it's, the fact that I haven't been in a study routine for so long. I don't know. But I took the decision yesterday to basically reach out for help. So I went to my university's help zone team, who were extremely helpful. Um, and they kind of gave me some advice. They put me onto a meeting with another team, so that will help me out as well. I've talked to my friends about it, talked to my family, and that I've had advice from different people on what to do. So that's been really good. And hopefully the issue won't last too long, like too much longer. But again, I just don't know. It's really difficult to tell. Um, so yeah, that's been my biggest issue since being at uni. Um, and I feel glad to have talked about it, and tried to get help in that. So I think the final thing I'm going to talk about is, it's a bit of a weird one, but I'm going to talk about actually no, I was going to talk about the accommodation and that. I'll probably leave that for another video. But I'm going to talk about kind of what I've found easy about, like, being in a new town. So obviously, as you guys know, I'm from Swindon, and then obviously moving to Cheltenham. It was a bit daunting at first, obviously spending my whole life in Swindon and then moving to a town that, I'd barely ever been to. I think I'd only been here twice, and that was, both times were to come to the university campus. So I'd never properly been into the town. But I found it super easy to get used to life in Cheltenham. Like, obviously it's smaller than Swindon, but I found it really easy to get used to life here. And within like a week or two, I'd already memorized, a lot of the routes. Like, I memorized the route to the shops, I'd memorized the route to the town centre, and things like that. And I think as well, another thing that I've found is, just how safe I feel in Cheltenham. Like, Swindon has a bit of a reputation for being a not particularly nice area in a lot of ways. Cheltenham, on the other hand, hasn't felt like that to me. I've never walked through Cheltenham and, felt scared or anything like that. I feel safer walking through Cheltenham even at night. Not that I ever walk at night on my own. If it's at night, I'm always with someone. But even then, I feel safer, walking through Cheltenham than I do like just walking through Swindon in general. Because of how safe I feel in Cheltenham, and like it doesn't have as bad of a reputation compared to Swindon. And I feel like there's quite a bit to do in Cheltenham. Like, there's a lot of shops to go and visit, and I routinely go there. Either by myself or with friends or something. And then there's a lot of other stuff to do, like there's mini golf, there's bowling, there's a cinema. Been to mini golf in the cinema. Haven't been bowling yet. I was going to, but something happened, and some of you watching this video will know about it. It was like a pre-uni meetup thing, and I couldn't make it. But yeah. So overall, my university experience has been a really incredible one. And yeah, I haven't really. This video may have seemed like a little bit rushed or something like that. I haven't really written down what I was going to say. I kind of just thought about it, and thought about the different things I was going to talk about. I do plan on making more videos related to university. I've had a couple of ideas sort of in my mind, so I've considered maybe doing a room tour, considered doing maybe a university related question and answer, putting something on my Instagram story, you guys asking questions and then me answering them. I don't know, obviously let me guys know what you want to see with, videos and stuff like that. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is, obviously to anyone who's watching this video and, wants to go to university, if you have any concerns about any of the things I've talked about in this video, if it's the independence, the studying, the living away from home or anything like that, as I said in the beginning, it's really important to talk to people and let them know any concerns you've got, because they may be able to help you. And I think the biggest thing I can say at the moment, after being at university for only a month, but still, biggest thing I can say to anybody, it will always get easier. If you've got concerns about living away from home, after a while it does get easier for some people. Some people, they may not adapt to it, and they may not like it in a new town or anything like that. And I think the thing with that, not liking it in the town, maybe it's because of you come from a quieter area, or you don't necessarily feel safe. I think the thing to remember is it takes time to adapt. For some people, it can take time. If you're, say, from a quieter area, it takes time to get used to a bigger area, more to do, more people around, things like that. Kind of don't think to yourself after only a few weeks, oh yeah, I don't like it, because it's different. It's obviously for the first week or so you're going to feel like that, but give yourself a chance to adapt to everything and just get used to it. And you may end up liking it. I think that's kind of what I wouldn't really say I was like scared of it. I don't really know, but I guess obviously being in a new town was a big thing for me, having lived in Swindon my whole life. But I got used to it really, really quickly, and now I genuinely love Cheltenham. It's such a nice place, and other people may be struggling with that, and I know a few people have, and I've been like trying to help them out and stuff. And with the independent side and the living away from home, it's going to be scary. It's going to be a daunting experience for you, because you may not be used to doing stuff by yourself. And obviously, you've got a home, obviously you've got the comfort of your own home, your family or your friends and things like that. And it can be really difficult, but at the same time, going to university gives you the chance to become independent and build up that confidence that you need. And that's one of the biggest things for me, is that when, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when I was thinking about deferring, that conversation I had that day, realizing that I was capable and I could do it, and that that's what I needed to do. I needed that independence, and I needed that confidence. That's what really helped me, and I kind of attribute that as the reason why I'm sitting here today making this video. Obviously, again, talk to people if you need to, but you've got to remember that it will get easier as you go along, because you get used to things, you build up a rhythm, and it just makes things so much easier. So yeah, that's all for this video. Again, I haven't uploaded for a couple of months. I don't really know what to do, and then obviously I've had the whole university thing to kind of get into, and that I can't make any promises as to making regular videos and that, because I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of other stuff as well. I'll try to make videos when I can. Again, if you guys have got any ideas of videos, let me know in the comments, whether you want to see like a uni related Q&A, a room tour, maybe like day in the life video or something. I don't know, but yeah, just let me know. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.